Hi, everybody. It's Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray. And I wanted to make sure I came out and caught everybody up with what happened in court on Friday. I know I have been late in getting this information out. I do want to apologize for that and for any misunderstandings I have caused about trying to go to live and so forth. And just, you know, things happen and I don't want to get into a long excuse or apology. So, but yeah, life happens. But I'm here, and I wanted to make sure I could just catch everybody else up with what has happened and not waste any more time. Okay, so obviously, as you know, on Friday, April the 10th, I went to court in Virginia Beach. This is actually a photo of the courthouse in Virginia Beach. They don't let you take any cell phones in or even an Apple Watch. So I was not able to record anything inside the courthouse. They very much prohibit any of that type of thing happening. And so I got to the courtroom in time, and in there, the cases started at 8:30 a.m. Obviously, the judge had to listen to all the cases that had attorneys and then some other continued cases. And then finally, it got cleared to come to the new cases that the judge was getting ready to hear in small claims court. Now, if you remember, my original warrant was a small claims court warrant, and I had asked for the amount of $5,000, and I had served him and so forth. Well, as it turns out, I had made a decision that was a little bit important in regards to needing to make some changes to the suit. I had a choice. I could proceed with the case as it was when I originally filed and settle for less than I felt that the case merited, which was $5,000, which covered a little bit of reputational harm and my attorney fees on the cease and desist letter I had sent Tim, or use my right as the plaintiff to pull the case back for fix the numbers in the amount of what would be the amount that I would be seeking in the judgment. And that meant not only moving it from the small claims court, but meant also moving it up to a general district level where I could go to a court that will make payments up to $50,000 and do not require you having an attorney to represent you. And so I fixed all those numbers and I refiled the case sometime back ago. I want to say it was maybe March 17th or something around that date. I went back to the courthouse and I refiled the case, which is why people saw the dates that would say April 10th and then April the 17th on two cases. And why Tim, when he sent me the second letter, mentioned two different cases with two different amounts of money. And so I refiled for the new adjusted claim. And obviously, if the judge obviously chooses to go ahead with it, it would become a judgment. But obviously, it's my claim, and obviously, I have now made the decision to fight for the true amount that I feel that I should recuperate in this particular case. That would include, obviously, the cost for the attorneys that I had to hire to protect my YouTube business, the monies for any reputational harm that I receive as a registered nurse and a professional, and having my professional reputation harmed. Obviously, that is a very important part of this case also. And so those two numbers combined, along with the additional things of the conspiracy that I have and will be putting forward in this case, I don't want to give too much of my strategy away, is what's going to be included. I have, spoken about the fact of getting subpoenas and everything else sent to Tim. And he has had the correct amount of time, and everything has been served as needed to. So that's kind of where that decision was made by me. So I went in. The judge then asked for anybody who wanted a case dismissal or anything of that nature to let them know before they proceeded with the other cases in small claims, where obviously they were going to be a little bit more involved and have witnesses and so forth. And so and the courtroom was pretty full. And so I raised my hand and I said, "Good morning, Your Honor." I had my little script ready to go. I won't say it, but I said, "Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Rachel Blair, the plaintiff in this matter. This is case number," and I gave the case number, which you'll see in a minute. Rachel W. Blair versus Timothy R. Baker Sr. Your Honor, I am requesting a voluntary nonsuit. This is the mulligan, if you may, in the Virginia judicial system that allows me to do this. And we'll take a look at that in a moment, without prejudice in this case. And the judge may only ask if this is the only nonsuit that I have requested, of which he did ask. And I did let him know that this was the only one. And I said yes. And the judge did grant me then that non-suit without prejudice. And that means that I am able to refile the case with any amendments that I need to make, which is what I then proceeded to do. So the April the 10th case, and let me share this screen instead. Oh, let me remove this. This to the stage. There we go. This is actually the information from the General District Court here in Virginia Beach. And as you can see, it gives the case number. It gives the date that was filed. It states that it was a warrant in debt. Obviously, it states my name here and that the judgment was a non-suit. Obviously, Virginia Beach, my zip code. There you go. Gave some details that I am self-represented. Obviously, it also gives Tim's name, the address in Bradenton, as far as just where he is, that he also got the non-suit judgment and he was self-represented. Tim obviously was not present, but with the case being a non-suit, Tim was self-represented, I guess, in this matter. And then here the judgment is a non-suit. So this case, as many people want to say, it's over or it has ended, anything of that nature, no. I basically took the opportunity to do this non-suit here in Virginia. I'll share this over here real fast. Here, this is the codes of Virginia law, which talks about the dismissal of action by non-suit, talks about the fees and the costs. Obviously, I don't get anything back. But only one non-suit may be taken to cause an of action or against the same party to the proceeding. So there's only one time that I can say, I do not, I want this case non-suit without prejudice, which is what I asked for. It just says non-suit because in Virginia, it is a given that it is obviously without prejudice unless it was indicating otherwise on the actual website here, the court page. Here, the court, although the court may allow additional non-suits upon reasonable notice of counsel, of record for all defendants and upon reasonable attempt to notify any party not represented by counsel, or counsel may stipulate to additional non-suits. The court, in the event additional non-suits are allowed. Okay, so that talked about that. If notice to take a non-suit of right is given, Okay, the opposing party within 7 days of trial or during trial, the court is in its discretion may assess against the non-suiting party reasonable witness fees and travel. Well, Tim didn't do any travel. So I don't have to reimburse him. Had Tim traveled, I might have had to have reimbursed him and he could have gotten a trip to Virginia. But no. And obviously the next case will not be a non-suit. So that will not happen. So yeah. And Tim hasn't really done anything that would have cost him anything. So I don't owe him anything. So Tim's laziness in a lot of ways worked on my behalf. And even though people just want to talk about the fact that Tim obviously doesn't care, he probably should care about the one that's coming up this Friday, because the one that's coming up this Friday is actually the one that will be important, but that I don't have anything to say to him. I can't give him any advice. I'll get in trouble. All right. The court shall have authority to determine. Okay, there's none of this. There's none of this. Nothing herein shall preclude any party from offering additional evidence or testimony to support or rebut the reasonableness of requirement. Okay. A party shall not be allowed to non-suit a cause of action without the consent of the adverse party who has filed a counterclaim, cross-claim, or third-party claim which is arising out of the same transaction or occurrence, the claim of the party desiring to non-suit, unless the counterclaim, cross-claim, there was nobody there to do any of that. A voluntary non-suit taken pursuant to this section is subject to the tolling provisions of the subdivision upon timely perfection of an appeal from judgment of General District Court, and then some other, codes and so forth there. So that is the code that I enacted in order to refile the case, which was refiled, as I said, some time ago, back in March, and one which Tim is aware of. So that is where we are at. So I am looking forward to it. We are still on the path to the court. I am looking forward to having an opportunity to see this through. And I appreciate all the continued support from everybody. And so I just want to say thank you, and thank you for the patience in letting me get this video out and explain kind of what happened. I've just been super busy. I do apologize. Just a lot of personal paperwork to do, like taxes. But they were done. So anyway, I appreciate your patience. Sorry I was unable to go live. I'm making this at almost midnight, and I need to be up for work, but I did want to make sure I had everybody updated, since I will be at work for a couple of days. If you did get this far in the video, please make sure to leave me a dollar bill sign for the fact that this warrant in debt is still in action, or money bags or anything to show money, because I would really appreciate it. And like I said, I'm so sorry I didn't come live from the courthouse. I can't apologize enough. I've had some really good things happen for me on my personal side. So it's just kind of like life, like I said, life sometimes. And so I do it, but I did need to update this wonderful Life and Vibe community. And so I just want to make sure to do that. And I will catch you up soon. I will probably try to do a pre-game again with the members before Friday. It's going to be a busy week, but the taxes are done, so I don't have to worry about that deadline anymore. So anyway, and the next up, we've got, court, Junebug surgery. It's all go. All right, guys, appreciate it. Like I said, leave me some money, dollar signs, if you got this far. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that hype button, that little hype button if you get a chance to, because I would appreciate it. Get people to find this video because it's going to go out at midnight on a Saturday. All right, guys. I got my official court shirt on. Okay. We'll have to talk about Tim climbing the RV roof later. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.